You're gonna get the shrimp frozen just like this. You're gonna make sure and count 12 pieces. Now to defrost your shrimp, it goes pretty quick. You're gonna run it under some warm water. So turn on the water, kind of rinse it off a little bit, fill up your bowl, and then after that, you let it sit for a second, kind of stir it around with your hands, and then you want to drain off most of the water. Now, in this video, I can only use one hand because I'm holding the camera, but use both hands, get all the water out of that bowl, and then fill it up again with warm water. At this point, just let it sit there in the bowl for like 5 minutes while you get the rest of your mise en place. You're going to rinse your lemon under water, making sure to kind of rub it with your hands to get off any dirt. You also want to make sure and peel off the sticker from the lemon. Here I'm zesting the lemon. You do this by getting a microplane or a zester. That's the piece of equipment I have in my hand right now. And you're gonna rub the outside of the skin, just the yellow part. You don't wanna go too far, so you only wanna rub it on the same place one time. The white is actually really bitter. It's called the pith. You don't want that. The outer peel of the lemon is actually really bright and beautiful flavor. It's great to cook with. It's great to add into desserts. So we're going to use some of that today to give us a lemon flavor without it being too sour like the juice. Make sure to turn your zester around because a lot of the zest gets stuck on the backside. So get your rubber scraper and scrape all that into your bowl, making sure not to waste any of it. That's so much flavor. Using the same microplane, you're gonna get your 4 cloves of garlic and you're gonna finely grate them on this. Now, you have to be so careful with your fingers, guys. This is sharp. So once you get to the end where your finger is almost touching it, where you don't have a lot of room to grasp the clove of garlic, you want to just discard that last piece because it's not worth cutting yourself or cutting your nail on that. Now, you're gonna wanna make sure and scrape down the same way you did with a lemon. Scrape all that garlic into your bowl, and then it all gets stuck on the back side. So get your rubber scraper, scrape it all out into your bowl. Don't waste any of that. Lemon that we zested earlier, you're gonna roll it on the countertop with your hand. You're gonna kind of press on it pretty hard. This is gonna release the juices from the lemon. Then you're gonna take your knife, cut it in half, and with a bowl, and you have a small strainer. All of you should have one of these in your kitchen. Look in all the drawers. You're gonna squeeze the lemon directly over that, and it's gonna catch any seeds that would fall into there. Now, guys, you need to squeeze it over and over and over again. Turn it sideways. Use your hand, both of your hands. Probably for about 30 seconds. Go ahead and squeeze it, making sure to get every bit of juice out of there, and then shake the strainer off. Measure out your lemon juice. You should have a tablespoon. Mine was a tiny bit short, so I squeezed a tiny bit more of the other half of lemon. If you need to do that, just put the strainer back onto the bowl, squeeze a little bit more, and be careful. As you can see here, there's kind of lemon juice squirting all over the place. Just make sure not to get it like in your eye or in your face. We need 4 tablespoons of butter, which is the equivalent to half of a stick of butter. So you're just gonna cut it right in half, and then you're gonna try to get it out of the paper. To weigh out the pasta, you're gonna put a plate on top of the scale, and then you're gonna push on. Since the plate was already on there, it automatically cleared to 0. So if I lift it up and put it back down, it's 0. We don't want the actual weight of the plate, we just want the weight of the pasta. So you get your angel hair pasta, which is what we're doing today, and we're looking for 6 ounces specifically. So put some on there and see what you're looking at. I'm like 4.5 right here, so that means I need to add some more pasta. Make sure it's measuring in ounces. On the bottom right, it says OZ. We don't want grams, we want ounces. So I added some more. Add the Old Bay to the shrimp and stir it really well. You're now ready to start your cooking. All of your mise en place should be done. Preheat your pan. You'll know it's hot when you splash water in and it sizzles, and then add in your olive oil. Swirl it around in the pan and then go ahead and add your shrimp. You really want to hear that sizzle, then you know it's ready to go. So I'm adding 1 shrimp at a time. It sizzles perfect. Add in all the shrimp, and you want to add it to 1 even layer so that every shrimp is touching the pan. You're going to cook the shrimp for 1 minute on the first side. I want you to set a timer on the microwave. At the end of that minute, using your tongs, flip every shrimp over to the second side. As you can see here, they're starting to turn like that pink orange color. That's how you know that they're cooking. You want none of that gray color left. So after they're all flipped over, you're going to cook it about a minute, maybe 2. You want to make sure that all the shrimp are completely cooked through, but without overcooking them. As soon as all the shrimp are flipped over, now is the time when you need to add the pasta to the pasta water. It should have already been boiling. So actually, I want you to go ahead and add the salt first, stir it around, get your angel hair pasta. You don't need to break it in half. You can stick it in there just like that. Be patient, take the next like 20-30 seconds and start to bend it. Once it's been in the water, it'll be able to go right in. Once both the salt and the pasta are in the pasta water, give it a really good stir, and you're going to set a timer for 4 minutes on the microwave. At this point, your pasta is going. Your shrimp should be about done. Flip it around, do what you got to do to stir it. Now, y'all, if you're not confident in tossing your shrimp like this, don't do it. Just use your tongs to stir it around. That would be fine. Once they're done, which means there's no more gray, they're all pinkish orange color, you can remove them from the pan. When you do that, you want to turn the pan off. You're not trying to burn that oil in the pan. Have a clean plate off to the side. I just use the same plate that I used for the pasta. No need to dirty extra things. Using your tongs carefully, remove the shrimp to that plate. Now, you do want to keep the oil in the pan. That is part of our sauce. And remember, a lot of our seasoning has fallen into the oil at this point. So one by one, again, keeping the oil in there, move the shrimp to the pan. Now, y'all, when you do put the pan back on the stove, you can turn it back on, but don't turn it on any higher than like a medium low. I'd say 4. The only thing that really needs to cook at this point is we need to cook the garlic and melt the butter. So adding the butter in, it should melt pretty quick. Use a rubber scraper, make sure to get all of it out of that paper, and then add in your other ingredients. I'm adding in the parsley and the red pepper flakes. Those were together in a mise bowl. I'm adding in the grated garlic as well, making sure that you scrape all that out. Now again, medium low, your pan should still be hot. The butter should take just a few seconds, maybe a minute to melt. Stir it around. The garlic cooks really fast. Once the butter's mostly melted, I add in the lemon juice and the zest. Again, use the rubber scraper. Make sure to get all of it out of the bowl and stir it. As you can see, it's starting to bubble here. That's what we want. Again, this sauce only needs to actually cook for like a minute, maybe 2, just to get that raw garlic taste out. At this point, it's done. The pasta should be getting to the point where it is done. So at this point, grab the shrimp, add it back to the pan. We want to mix the shrimp in that garlic butter lemon sauce. Using the rubber scraper, scrape everything off the plate. Stir it around, warm the shrimp back through, and then the pasta should be done. If you timed it perfectly, which you should have, grab your tongs. Obviously, turn the pot off, that burner, and take the tongs, get all the pasta out of there. Once it's in the pan, at this point, y'all, you can turn the pan off. You don't need the heat on anymore. The pasta is really hot. The pan is still really hot from being on. You want to try your best to stir it. Now, y'all, be patient with this. All the sauce is at the bottom. Obviously, you need to get it incorporated well. Don't forget about your salty, starchy pasta water. I get about 1/3 of a cup and pour it in. And then at this point, stir it really, really well. Now, it is going to be kind of soupy. Remember, that pasta is still really hot. It's absorbing the pasta water. So you want to, after you add the cheese, which I'm about to do, let it sit there for about 5 minutes. During that 5 minutes, it's going to absorb all of the pasta water. And when you come back, it should be a nice thickened sauce. It's been 5 minutes. As you can see here, when I lift it up, all of the water has been absorbed. It's just a nice thick sauce. At this point, you are ready to serve.